Welcome to the Fall 2015 Arizona State University College of Public Service and Community Solutions Convocation Ceremony. The processional is led today by our selected faculty and student marshals. The college faculty marshal, Richard Knopf, serves as Director for Partnership for Community Development, Director for Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, and Professor within the School of Community Resources and Development. Student speaker, Bridget Bell, and student marshals, Brenna Bean, Priscilla Wadarama, Leonor Camarena, and Mocha de los Santos were each selected to carry the gonfalon of the college and by their respective schools as outstanding graduates for the fall class of 2015. The college and school gonfalons contain the distinctive academic color of the college and schools they represent, as well as ASU's maroon and gold. Following the faculty and student honorees is College of Public Service and Community Solutions Dean Jonathan Coppell, followed by our Fall 2015 keynote speaker, Dr. Rufus Glasper, Chancellor of Maricopa County Community Colleges District. Leading the platform party comprised of the leadership and faculty of the College of Public Service and Community Solutions are Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, Cynthia Leitz. Assistant Dean of Student and Academic Affairs, Dana Newell. Director of the School of Community Resources and Development, Kathleen Anderick. Director of the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice, Cassia Spo. Director of the School of Public Affairs, Karen Mossberger. Director of the School of Social Work, Michelle Moore Cardy. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the colors by ASU Air Force ROTC Honor Guard and the singing of the national anthem by Priority Male, ASU's beloved all-male a cappella group.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart hearts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, bombs bursting, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Please welcome Dean Jonathan Coppell to extend greetings on behalf of the faculty of the College of Public Service and Community Solutions.
Good evening. Good evening. This is a participatory ceremony. So I say good evening. Thank you. Welcome. This is an exciting night. This is a time to celebrate. Let's feel a celebratory vibe. There we go. That is more like it. That is more like it. It is a great honor to be with you today and to welcome you to this joyful event. We are absolutely delighted to be celebrating this day with you. This is a special day for the College of Public Service and Community Solutions, and let me suggest to you that our graduation ceremony offers something a little bit different than the typical graduation ceremony. I mean that in the following sense. At a typical ceremony, speakers get up and in a very pretentious way they say, "Today you're beginning the next phase of your life. Remember to go forth and do something to improve the world. You have an obligation to serve," and so on. This is good. This is good. I'm not against that. Not against that at all. In fact, I rather enjoy it because I agree with the sentiment. Yes, that's part of it. But also I get to feel a little smug sense of self-satisfaction in the following way. Because that's great that these graduates are thinking about public service on their graduate day, and it's great that there's a speaker that's reminding them that service is important. That's fantastic. But I have the pleasure to be dean of a college and to graduate a group of students who have already made the choice to dedicate themselves to service, who have chosen to study subjects and prepare themselves for lives of service, and I couldn't be more proud to have a part in this day with you because you already have shown that service is absolutely vital to your lives and to all of our lives. So thank you, first of all, for making that declaration. And that is what makes this college special. This commitment to service is grounded in a belief that what affects one of us affects all of us. Now, you're all going to address the challenges in our midst in different ways, whether you're a part of the School of Community Resources and Development, the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice, the School of Public Affairs, or the School of Social Work. What all of these schools and what all of the different degree programs that you have been part of have in common is this notion that our fates are intertwined. It undergirds everything that we are about. It undergirds everything that you have been up to and that you will be pursuing in the years ahead. It is what makes us a community. And that's where that second part of our college's name comes in. It's not just about public service. It is about building stronger communities. It is about solving problems together. Now, we know something about solving problems together, and you know something about solving problems together, and know that it is difficult to achieve anything by yourself, because quite frankly, none of you got here today entirely by yourselves. And so before we go any further in this ceremony, I'd like the graduates to stand up, turn around, and give thanks to mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, children, grandchildren, cousins. All of these people in the audience today, through their patience, through their kind words, their encouragement, they helped you get here today. See, all you had to do was be set free, and now you're feeling it. It's good. So let us just for a moment underscore what you've achieved and what is so fantastic about this college. We'll hear a little bit more about this later in this ceremony. But this college is distinctive, even within Arizona State University, a university that is distinctive. So what this university has set forth as an idea is that higher education, in order to truly be meaningful in our society, needs not just to be about the pursuit of excellence by a narrow slice of society, but it has to be open to all. It has to give everybody the opportunity to achieve their potential, as you graduates are showing today. And this college shows what that truly means. So we have outstanding students, brilliant geniuses doing amazing things who are going to go out and reshape the world, and they are drawn from the full breadth of our society. In fact, the majority of undergraduates in the College of Public Service and Community Solutions are the first in their family to graduate from college. That's right, I think that's Jergi's a whip. And so I'm enormously proud of what you have done and enormously proud of what you are going to do in the future. We have people at all levels of education graduating today. So undergraduates, master's students, doctoral candidates. What they have in common, in my opinion, is that in different ways, you are all preparing to solve problems through the production and implementation of ideas. And I mention that because I think oftentimes we focus in the context of a university on books and learning and ideas, and it's fantastic. It is good. But part of what you're learning is not just about the creation of ideas, but about the implementation of ideas. And we're going to hear from our speaker, who's done a fantastic job leading one of the truly outstanding community college systems in America, that ideas are not enough. That administration of those ideas, implementation of those ideas is what gives them life. And so people will talk about great ideas, but it is not enough to simply talk. You must take action. You must deliver on those ideas in order for them to have force. And so what I urge you to remember as you leave today is that simply thinking great thoughts doesn't change the world. It's taking action and putting the force of your deeds behind those words that ultimately is transformative. Now, one final thought before I turn the microphone over to our guest speaker today. Whenever we talk about service and obligation, it doesn't sound terribly fun. It in fact sounds like you're doing penance or something like that. You're martyrs for us all. I don't think that's quite right. I celebrate your service for two reasons. First of all, I celebrate your service and the path that you've chosen, as I said, because it gives me some sense of confidence that the problems that we face in the world today, which seem so daunting, I'll return to this later, that seem so intimidating, that actually they're going to be solved, because I don't feel in this group that you're intimidated by these problems. I feel that you see a challenge that will be difficult, but a challenge that can be vanquished. And so I feel grateful in that sense. But I also feel happy for you in the following way. I actually think service, maybe it's not the most lucrative path that you've chosen. I'm sorry to let you in on that now. That maybe would have been more useful a few years ago. But actually, I think it's a path to fulfillment. That as you develop your talent, as you help other people overcome adversity and develop their potential, as you analyze and solve social problems, as you figure out ways to protect our communities and make them safer, as you innovate in the management of our valuable natural resources to the betterment of us all, I believe that what's going to happen is you're going to discover a sense of purpose for yourself. That is, as the commercials say, or used to say, I guess I'm dating myself a little bit, that is priceless. And ultimately, I and the fantastic faculty of this college take pleasure in knowing that you will find fulfillment in this path of service, and that even as you are making the world a better place, you will find happiness through that path. So congratulations on making that choice. Now, I couldn't be more pleased to welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Rufus Glasper, Chancellor of the Maricopa County Community College District. As I said, this is one of the largest community college systems in America. I would argue one of the best. And the reason I know that is that many of our graduates here today transferred from Maricopa community colleges. In fact, how many, if you went to a Maricopa community college, stand up. So these are your students, Dr. Glasper. Thank you. During his tenure, Dr. Glasper created One Maricopa, his vision for a Maricopa Community College that finds collective solutions and acts on a creates system-wide opportunities to meet the needs of students wherever they may be. In 2004, voters overwhelmingly passed the sale of $951 million in capital bonds for the benefit of students. And with Glasper's stewardship, Maricopa County is one of only 2 community college districts in the United States whose general obligation bonds have achieved a AAA rating from all 3 rating agencies. Now, I'm not going to mention that he helped refine his skills at a university in southern Arizona. It happens. But the point, that sounds really arcane, rating agencies, and I'm sure Dr. Glasper will talk about this. The point is, through sound financial management, he's created a dynamic community college system that is changing people's lives. And Dr. Glasper has been instrumental in the partnership between Maricopa and ASU, in particular the Pathways program, the MAPS that so many of you were on not so long ago, has been highly successful as a way for students to meet the requirements for an associate's degree and continue straight along to gain admission to ASU bachelor's degree programs. Now, Dr. Glasper recently announced his retirement from the Maricopa County Community College District after 13 years as chancellor and 30 years as an executive leader in the college district. But unsurprisingly, his commitment to public service will not end. He will take his expertise and serve the nation as CEO of the League for Innovation in Community Colleges. I'm enormously pleased that he's doing this because, quite frankly, we cannot as a nation engage the challenge of educating our people without a robust and dynamic community college sector, and I know Dr. Glasper is the right person to get us there. I'm enormously pleased to introduce you Dr. Rufus Glasper.
Good evening, everyone. It is definitely a pleasure to be with you this evening to have this opportunity to share some thoughts. And it's extremely pleasing for me to see the Maricopa transfer students that are here. Some 10, 11 years ago, I was a parent in the audience of this college. And my oldest daughter, and excuse me, don't tell my wife I said my, but our oldest daughter graduated from this very program. And her goal was definitely to provide service. What I'd like to share with you today are some of the thoughts that I have relative to service and the engagement that we have as a college, and to celebrate this major milestone in your career, and to talk about some of those next steps. Like you, I have a personal commitment to service in different ways. But I was looking at your website, and I saw your motto. And I don't know how many of you remember your motto, but I was engaged by looking at your motto, which talks about the first word is to engage. To engage, serve, and transform. To me, that's pretty powerful. Because I think whatever you choose to do in your life, you need to engage and serve, and if possible, to transform. When I took over the Maricopa Community Colleges as its chancellor, my 3 words were inclusiveness, engagement, and respect. And I used those to frame my engagement within our system. I believe that educational institutions are the platform for us to step off into that landscape and to do whatever we want to do. You've chosen a life of service. I want to give you just a brief story of one of those aspects of my life and service. When I moved here in 1986, I found a home in Mesa. And in our community, we had a burglary in one of our houses. It was a new community. And our neighbor stepped up, and he became a block watch captain. And he provided service. He was engaged in watching our block. He came to me one day and he said, "Rufus, I need for you to help me as a block watch captain." And at that particular time, I was the chief financial officer for the Maricopa Colleges, and I felt that my schedule was full. And I made this statement to him. And it wasn't a facetious statement, but it was a statement of reality. I said, "If you can find an opportunity for me to serve this community, then I will do so." And he says, "Have you heard about the Volunteer in Police Service program for the city of Mesa?" And I said, "No, I had not. But did you know that you can volunteer 24/7? So for 6 years, I was a volunteer in police service for the police department of the city of Mesa. And I did transport, I did lockup, I did bookings, I did court, and I will tell you it was one of the most beneficial service activities that I had ever spent. I had felt that I was in a community and I was doing my own thing and I was going back and forth to work and I was in my own world. But what I found is the same thing that I believe you will find and you continue to find each and every day, but you will be able to engage, you will be able to transform and think about how you can assist your community in many ways. As I met individuals that came in and out of that jail each and every night, because I had to work the late shift, I worked nights, I found that there was domestic violence that you will encounter in some of your programs. I worked closely with the police. I worked closely also with the social services units and so forth, and I found out about the jobs that they do and how they engage and how they are finding ways to keep their lives going and keep their family lives going while still trying to build this community. We are engaged in many different levels of what we believe to be unequitable treatment within our communities, and sustaining that level of equality requires your utmost engagement, your personal engagement in working with your family that will allow you to make that particular sacrifice, because it is truly a sacrifice. And as was mentioned earlier, it is not about money. It is about service, and in many different ways, we have to find ways to give back. In Maricopa, we are thrilled to have a partner with ASU in this college and our transfer program that we've developed over the years, and we expect to see more and more students come through this college and are representative of our Maricopa colleges, because we have transformed ourselves from a junior college of the 1960s to a comprehensive community college system that embodies the responsibilities that we need to give back to our community. And what many of your students have found is that community service is utmost. It is first in our mind and first and foremost that we give back. The political madness that's going on in our communities require that we accept these challenges, but we look at the opportunities, we look at the fact that nonprofit agencies are cropping up each and every day, that the state in many cases has divested itself from our colleges, and on July 1st of this year, they totally divested themselves from the Maricopa colleges. So now I find myself in a role that I've never had before, not to the extent that I have it now. I am out visiting with philanthropy groups, with nonprofit groups, and I'm learning how to fundraise. Our 10 college presidents are increasing their activities in fundraising. So as those of you who are in nonprofit, you will see that particular area start to swell. You will see that your education will only be beginning when you leave. When I look at your involvement in solving community problems in the areas of criminal justice, public affairs, communications, journalism, and I like this one about leisure. You know, when my family and people ask me, how do you maintain balance in your life? I lie, because I have no balance in my life. So those of you who are in the leisure program, if you have some advice for me, I will take it, and my wife will pay for it. As you go forward, as you look at the common interests that are going on in our colleges and in our communities and in our classrooms, think about the politics that drive each and everything we do, but think about the meaningful and effective engagement that you will have by moving the levers of change within our community and hopefully nationally. Our colleges are seeking to fulfill their destiny by being what we would describe in Maricopa democracy colleges. We have become leaders around the country in this term called democracy commitment. And I think that is part of what you are going to engage in, and you need to practice it by looking at our problems and determining those situations and replicating them at a scale that will allow the city of Phoenix, the state of Arizona, and those to move forward in many ways. In fact, many of you have started your post-secondary, as I mentioned, at one of our colleges, and if you didn't, then you're still part of the Maricopa family, because I know many in this community go through our colleges. This past year, we awarded over 25,000 degrees and certificates. We're expanding our 2+2 programs, and over 6,000 students have completed the program mentioned earlier, which is the Maricopa ASU MAP program. So as you move forward, I don't want you to look at this day as anything other than what it is, and I think it's your beginning. I want you to consider the Maricopa colleges in our community as part of that extended family for each and every one of you, because as you want some additional training, or you want to engage, or if you want to even mentor some of our students, I would love for you to do that. In closing, public service isn't easy. We live in a nation that is politically divided. Conservatives and liberals disagree, and while most people agree about the benefits of an educated citizenry, there are many varying opinions on how state, local, and national tax dollars should be distributed. Public service is challenging. The complexities of working in and through issues in political environment provide for new challenges at every corner. Rarely are answers right or wrong. Collaboration often means compromise, and you may have to give up some small wins for the greater good. And there are not only external politics, but each of our organizations will have their own internal politics and their own culture. Blending your institutional goals with external organizations require patience, commitment, and practice. And don't lose hope. Don't lose heart. Public service isn't easy. It is a noble profession, but I want to personally thank you for your commitment to the service, and on behalf of all of the Maricopa Community Colleges, congratulations again on your successes, and I extend my heartfelt congratulations and my best wishes for a joyous celebration this evening, and good luck in your future endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Glasper. Please welcome an Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, Cynthia Leeds, to the stage.
thank you, Dr. Glasper, for your remarks, your commitment to transforming the lives of young people through your service at Maricopa Community College District, as well as through your own volunteerism, is inspiring to us. So speaking of transformation, it is with great pleasure that I offer my personal congratulations to the fall 2015 graduating class of ASU's College of Public Service and Community Solutions. There's no question that we are confronted by many complex problems in our world today. Some of us came tonight discouraged by recent and ongoing incidents of violence. And some of us came worried about economic struggles and continued disparity. And some of us are upset about acts of discrimination and oppression. These are the things that keep us up at night, and they should. But with that said, what I can say with great confidence is that our students are, in fact, a dramatic contrast to these examples. Instead, you all represent what is good about our world today. I want to say that again. You all represent what's good about our world today. You help us reimagine, that's right. You help us reimagine what it could mean to infuse ideals such as civility, dignity, and equality in our private and public discourse. You also help us reconsider the impact of virtues such as kindness, perseverance, and courage as we seek to respond to the very challenges that we face. What I notice about our students is that you do not shy away from these very difficult issues. Instead, you face the very things that brought us maybe discouraged tonight. You face these things head on with an unwavering commitment to a simple goal: to make the world a better place. And so on behalf of our faculty and our staff at our college, I would like to let you know that it has been a privilege to be a part of preparing you for this honorable mission. As we celebrate your accomplishments, at this point I would like to acknowledge a few specific groups of students for outstanding achievements. First, because our students are committed to not waiting until they graduate to make a difference, many work and/or conduct public service while completing their coursework. If you worked or participated in community service while you were completing your degree program, will you please rise and be recognized? Thank you for your diligence and hard work. Consistent with this mission to serve, we take great pride in the fact that we have the highest number of veterans from ASU graduating from our college. If you are or have served our country through military service, please stand and be recognized. Thank you so much for your service. As mentioned earlier, many of our students are the first in their families to go to college. Being a first-generation student often stems from a desire to apply what you have learned to contribute on behalf of your own local communities. And so if you're the first person to graduate from college or the first person to graduate with a graduate degree from your family, will you please stand and be recognized? That I mentioned before, our students are pretty spectacular. So we would also like to recognize our students who study online. So some online students have traveled from great distances tonight to share in our celebration, and while some attended in person, some are participating in the ceremony through the live stream of this event. And so similar to our students who take classes in person, our online students represent the same characteristics that we have acknowledged here today. Many are working full-time, are parents and caregivers, and have a deep commitment towards public service. We are live streaming this ceremony so that our online students, their families, and the families of our in-person programs who live far away are able to view the ceremony from across the world. Information for viewing the video after the ceremony is provided in your program. So I'd like to just ask that we take a moment and acknowledge our online students who are participating in the ceremony here today or from afar with a round of applause. More awards honor graduates who have achieved a cumulative GPA of 4.0 while completing their degree in 8 consecutive semesters. This year we have 2 more award winners. Can the following students please rise and be recognized? Sheila Elizabeth Brown from the School of Community Resources and Development. And Jessica Renee Zimmerman from the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice. Congratulations on this accomplishment. Finally, as we reflect on what it means to be an outstanding student in our college, please turn your attention to the screens to hear about a few additional examples of outstanding graduates from our fall class of 2015. And again, congratulations.
My name is Milka Della Santos and I'm a social work major. As a social worker like you, it is your job to literally create social change.
Mocha was a student of mine in her SW 413 class. She's a very serious student. To be so young, to have some of the experiences that she's gone through, she seemed to be really dedicated.
So CAS is also known as Central Arizona Shelter Services. It's a facility that we house women and children and single adults. CAS has been that stepping stone for me to change the population that I'm working with. These people come into our doors at their lowest points in life sometimes, and we need to help rebuild their foundation, but also change society's view as a homeless individual. So it's been a great experience. I feel like this is where I've kind of grown into the person that I am today.
My name is Priscilla Guadarrama and my major is criminal justice and criminology.
Priscilla is an outstanding graduate for so very many reasons. We just went to the annual American Society of Criminology, where Priscilla and another undergraduate, basically the team that she's worked on this disorder perception project for the past 1.5 years, presented a poster. And she did amazing. She just owned it.
Danielle Wallace's undergraduate research team focused their efforts on studying perceptions of race on disorder. We are training leaders and we're training, future members of our communities here at ASU. So it's significant to make sure that we educate everybody so that when they are out in the field or they're out in their daily lives, they don't have these racial biases or prejudice. Edison was born a couple of days before the semester started at the beginning of the year. As a mother, we always had to kind of work around a certain schedule and things like that.
Priscilla did a great job. I had my son when I was in graduate school as well, so I can completely relate to the idea of having to hold a kid while read a book or do these kind of weird multitasking things that moms do to get things done. It's really exciting to see what Priscilla is going to do in the future because she shows so much potential.
My name is Leonora Camarena. I am finishing my master's in public administration. Throughout the master's program, I was able to meet with some amazing individuals and professors, which has really pushed my interest in wanting to pave the way for women within science and technology. One thing I've noticed is there's a lack with retention with women in STEM careers. I would like to pave that forward with future research.
Leonore had a unique ability to connect the work that she was doing in the classroom with her volunteer activities and her own work for local community organizations and nonprofits.
I did an internship at Chicanos por la Causa. Chicanos por la Causa is a nonprofit in Phoenix. We do everything from social work to helping with economic development. Was able to work with commercial development and get a hands-on experience with working with other municipal areas and individuals.
It's always nice as an instructor to have students that take a sincere interest in connecting their academic coursework to what it is that they're doing in the community. And it was pretty obvious to me that she was able to do that. And it was really fun to see.
My name is Brenna Bean and I'm a Parks and Recreation Management major with a concentration in therapeutic recreation. I've been athletic my entire life. I grew up playing sports. I started with little kids t-ball. I was a dancer as a kid. In high school, I really focused on track and running and pole vaulting. I love the feeling of getting out on the field. I love competition. I've always thrived on competition. I was 18 and I was getting ready to move out as a freshman in college. I had all my things packed for college. And that night, it was The Friday before I was supposed to move into college, I was in a really bad car accident. I was ejected from the vehicle and I suffered a spinal cord injury, which paralyzed me from the chest down. So my life changed at that moment. I never even thought about not being optimistic.
If I were to really break down what it is about Brenna that makes her successful in all that she does, it's her internal motivation. It drives everything. She loves what she does. She has fun. It's not work to her. Her love of learning is just absolutely deep and contagious. When she's with a group, she really lifts the energy of the group up.
I discovered that I could still exercise and I could still get that same feeling. I could still be involved in fitness and adaptive sports, and that's what continued to drive my passion. I love adaptive sports more than most things. I really believe that every person, regardless of disability or not, has a right to be happy through recreation and has the ability to be happy through recreation.
Her spirit and vitality has been an absolute asset to Arizona State University. I can only imagine what she is going to accomplish in the years ahead.
I think that that's one thing that pushes me to keep doing well, because people have supported me all the way through it, and I want to thank them by doing my best.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now approach that portion of the program in which we will ask the directors of each of our 4 academic schools: the School of Community Resources and Development, the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice, the School of Public Affairs, and the School of Social Work, to recognize graduates from within each program. Please welcome Dean Jonathan Coppell back to the stage.
You guys go over there.
Please welcome Dr. Cassius Spohn, Director of the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice.
Will the graduates from the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice please stand? Dean Coppell, upon recommendation of the faculty and with great personal pleasure, I present the fall 2015 graduates of the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice. They have fulfilled all requirements for the Bachelor of Science in Criminology and Criminal Justice and the Master of Arts in Criminal Justice. The degree candidates are all worthy of their respective academic distinctions.
Please welcome Dr. Kathleen Anderick, Director of the School of Community Resources and Development.
Would the graduates of the School of Community Resources and Development please rise? Dean Coppell, upon recommendation of the faculty and with great personal pleasure, I present the fall 2015 graduates who have fulfilled all requirements for the Bachelor of Science in Nonprofit Leadership and Management, Parks and Recreation Management, Therapeutic Recreation, and Tourism Development and Management, the Master of Nonprofit Studies, the Master of Advanced Study in Sustainable Tourism, and the Master of Nonprofit Leadership and Management. The degree candidates are all worthy of their respective academic distinctions.
Please welcome Dr. Karen Mossberger, Director of the School of Public Affairs.
Thank you. Would the graduates from the School of Public Affairs please rise? There you are. Dean Capel, upon recommendation of the faculty, and with great personal pleasure, I present the Fall 2015 graduates of the School of Public Affairs. They have fulfilled all requirements for the Bachelor of Applied Science, Emergency Management, Urban and Metropolitan Studies, and Public Service and Public Policy, for the Master of Public Administration, the Master of Public Policy, and the Doctorate of Philosophy in Public Administration. The degree candidates are all worthy of their respective academic distinctions. Thank you.
Please welcome back to the stage Dr. Cynthia Leeds, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs.
Would the graduates from the Emergency Management and Homeland Security program please rise? Dean Capel, upon recommendation of the faculty and with great personal pleasure, I present the Fall 2015 graduates of the first cohort of cross-college degree programs. They have fulfilled all requirements for the Master of Arts, Emergency Management, and Homeland Security. The degree candidates are all worthy of their respective academic distinctions.
Please welcome Dr. Michelle Carney, Director of the School of Social Work.
Would the graduates from the School of Social Work please rise? Dean Capel, upon recommendation of the faculty and with great personal pleasure, I present the Fall 2015 graduates of the School of Social Work. They have fulfilled all requirements for the Bachelor of Social Work and the Master of Social Work. The degree candidates are all worthy of their respective academic distinctions.
Would the Fall 2015 graduates of the College of Public Service and Community Solutions please rise? Graduates, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Arizona Board of Regents, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the College of Public Service and Community Solutions, it is my privilege to welcome you, graduates of the fall class of 2015, to the company of scholars with all its rights, honors, privileges, and obligations. Congratulations. Please be seated. So, I'm listening to the previous speakers, and myself included, and it sounds pretty grim out there. Dark, lots of problems. Yeah, that's the right response. Because I believe that all these problems are solvable. I believe that the things that you've been learning about for years, which many of those are dark subjects too. Crime, violence, that's dark. The suffering of children, poverty, that's dark too. There is no shortage of problems. But I actually think they're all solvable. They're all solvable as long as we overcome one problem that really can get in the way of solving all others, which is a belief that these problems can't be solved. And even more insidious, an acceptance that the state of the world is as good as it can be and that we cannot do any better. That is a very difficult problem to overcome. And so I would urge you, and this is the last sort of seed I want to plant as we prepare to excitedly applaud when you receive your congratulations and your degrees, I would urge you to never succumb to that insidious idea that we can't do better, that this is as good as it gets. It is not. I was thinking about, it's funny, there's some speeches that you've heard so many times and you've heard the ideas so many times that you don't even stop to think about what they mean. And I was thinking about this the other day as I was watching current events. There's this famous speech that Franklin Delano Roosevelt gave at his inauguration. You've all heard these words. But let me just repeat it because I think it's worth pondering today. It was in the opening paragraph of this great speech. And Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, "Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance." We live in a world, yes, I think those are powerful words. Those are powerful words. We too now live in an era where fear is all around us. And of course, we're in a political season where it is easy to mobilize based on fear. By the way, that's not unique to this season. It could be fear of terror. It could be fear of somebody taking away your Social Security check. People grasp onto fear as a tool to motivate voters when they go into the voting booth, and it is good for that. It is good for that. But fear is not terribly useful when it comes to motivating people to change. Fear doesn't help you make the world a better place. You didn't get here today because of fear. You got here today because you had confidence in the future, because you envisioned the completion of your degree and what would come after that. I put it to you that we are celebrating today education, and education is a fundamentally optimistic endeavor. There's no reason to get an education if you don't believe that the future holds promise, that tomorrow can be better than today, and that the day after tomorrow will be better than tomorrow. There is no point to education without that optimistic belief in the future. So what I would ask you is to keep that belief strong inside. Retain it. Do not let the voices of negativism that would tell you that the most powerful emotion is fear and that we should make decisions and act based on fear. Act out of the confidence that we are capable of so much more than we are doing today, and the world has progressed steadily over years, decades, and centuries based not on fear, but on that confidence. I would put it to you that the only insurmountable obstacle is, in fact, the belief that we face obstacles that cannot be overcome. All right, that was the part. So it says here, Dean's inspiring remarks. That was what that was. So at this time, we're now going to get to the part which you're all here for, the cheering and the whooping and the hollering. And we're going to start with an aspect of what's called the investiture ceremony. That's what this is about, which is one of the oldest traditions in academia. That's what all these silly robes are about with the colors and the stripes. It actually goes back to around the year 1300. And what this is about actually relates to what I was just saying. It's about the sacredness of accumulating knowledge. It's about the power of education to transform ourselves into agents that can transform the world. And the highest degree we give is called a Doctor of Philosophy, a PhD. And what that degree is about is producing knowledge. It's about discovering new ideas. And this December graduation, we are honoring a single doctoral candidate. So I'm going to call up Mary Reese. Where are you? Over here on this side. Who is graduating today with a Doctor of Philosophy in Public Administration. And she's going to be hooded by Dr. Elizabeth Corley. Congratulations.
At this time, the master's and bachelor's degree graduates will be invited across the stage and accept the congratulations of Dean Coppell and their school directors. The names of these graduates will be read by Peter Lafford and Andrew Ross.
To begin, Dr. Cassia Spahn and Dean Jonathan Coppell will now congratulate the degree recipients from the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice. Cassie Marie Rose. Dominique Ulino. Melissa Marie Hudson. Javier Ramon Rios. Diego Yanez. Phyllis Rochelle Tyson. Delano Raymond Bassard. Daniel Wayne Shellum. Amy T. Mercado. Trisha Lynn Johnson. Stephen D. Stahl. Anna S. Angulo. Mariana Torres. Kristen Cook. Amanda Elizabeth Jensen. Tasha Anne Marie Ward. Richard Dennis La Rochelle Jr. Julie A. Eppers. Richard Morris Berries. Christina Yanser. Daniel Edward Rincon. Jarvis David Harris. Jessica M. Stone. Sheila Marie Hitchcock. Shayna Lynn Walker. Courtney Nicole Fick. Tempest Deshay Crochet. Priscilla Guadarrama. Michael George Leibrock. Salina Brianna Perez. Tiffany Nicole Cosmit. Eric Michael Knight. Anthony Michael Howard. Silvia Munguia Esparza. Nicholas Richard Morello. Marlene Ruiz. Kevin Kristen. Kevin Brian Bonilla. Brian James Meyer. Hannah Elizabeth Fox. Megan Ann Judd. Alexandria Lynn Rivera. Brittany Nicole Henderson. Abraham Ruby. Kristen Brianna Stokes. Ashley Paola Gastelum. Ronald F. Bush. Kathleen Marie Dulles. Roman Hernandez. Michael Abalos Jr. Justin Royley Heflin. Mohammed Shakim Muhaimin. Bubakar Ba. Brianna Crockett. Saud Abdulaziz Al-Khouri. Christopher Lee Siles. Zachary Jack Pfeiffer. James Michael Signor. Jonathan Eng. Jose Francisco Uriarte. Jacqueline Marie Glass. Anthony Michael Johnson. Eduardo Andre Cota. Alexis Renee Villegas. Connor Christian Schmidt. Jacqueline Rose Robles. Adriana Armonda Padavano. Jessica Yvonne Lopez. Guadalupe Jezabel Terminel. Travis Jordan. Stephanie Natalie Vega. Aaron Patrick. Tashiana Lynn Street. Robert Campa, Jr. Alfonso Eduardo Martinez. Jennifer Michelle Behrens. Ilana Nicole Hale. Cole Weaver. Marita Lynn Hoffman. Tanis Mackenzie Koenig. Miranda Taylor Ross. Cody Smith. Curtis Brent Wheeler. Christina Marie Parker. Julia Alejandra Miranda. Janet Grant. Kara McKeon. Charity Ariel Miles. Shayna Lee Jansen. Katie Marie Gloner. Hannah Mercier. Jared Elliott McDaniel. Tiana Laurel Ward. Brendan Michael Leary. Lisa Marie Neary. Jessica Sarah Jansen. James Eric Nussbaum. Dominique Miara Praski. Flor Gabriela Olguin. Nicole Estela Cifuentes. Alexis Rivera. Ashley K. Martin. Erin Zamaripa. Anthony Joseph Wanger Sant. Lauren Brianna Phillips. Grace Lorraine Cienfuegos.
Taylor A. Rogers. Brittany Maria Warden. April Cherie Stevenson. Holly Ann Hudock. Sherry Bodmer. Jessica Lee Honey. Adriana Cavazos. Kyla Ariel Mercer. Alexandra J. Randazzo. Adrián Alberto Morales. Juliana Martinez. Stefan McCrae. Devin Ernest Goodman. Randy James Mendoza. Juan Alberto Acosta. Fred Andrew Murillo. Michaela Cecilia Zavala Mejia. Summer Solares. Humberto Perez. Vanessa Jeanette Rodriguez. Dustin Ortega Nowinski. Cassandra Dittman. Kevin Glover. Cassandra Lynn Drapinski. Joshua Tin Nguyen. Rebecca Chelsea Smith. Emily Winters Dixon. Daniel Irvin. Stephen Dion Wiggins. Lloyd Hewitt. Christopher Louis Cusimano. Jessica Renee Zimmerman. Kalina Michelle Middleton. Thomas Carl DiStefano. Brittany Nicole Thomas. Christina Marie Savary. Lucia Danielle Avena. Alyssa Dawn Swope. Derek Wong. Ana Morales Queruga. Tiffany Bonnie Entz. Tammy Diana Boulay. Kelly Kiku Hazelhorst. Cristina Lourdes Cisneros. Grant Aaron Skeets. Christopher Luis Trejo. Kelly Washington. Denzel Maurice Pruitt. Ruben Ray Zavala. Montana Morgan Mills. Douglas Christopher Billard. David Rodriguez Aguila. Quinn Matthew Boggs. Lisa McGuire. Sydney Drake Smiley. Christopher Jinwei Lee. Amanda Megan Thatcher. Haley Mackenzie Salcido. Joanna Carrillo. Emily Yanira Molina. Quinae Anissa Ann Brown. Alexander Lopez. Jesse Danielle Webb. Christopher Austin White. Chasen DeVry Curtis. Jesus Alvarado. Ricardo Martinez. And now, Dr. Kathleen Anderek and Dean Jonathan Coppell will congratulate the degree recipients from the School of Community Resources and Development. Carrie Louise Franciscovich. Daniel Martin Knuckles. Jesse Sage Fossenkemper. Brenna Marie Bean. Bridget Ann Bell. Rachel Lauren Tannenbaum. Emily Patricia Farrell. Ian William Erskine. Brittany Danielle Young. Jesse Flores. Vaibhav Patel. Grace DeJohn. Natsuko Idie. Jonathan Bradley Woodhall. Amber Corinne Gore. Brianna Elaine Fries Petit. Sheila Elizabeth Brown. Richard Anthony Hickman. Destiny Palasari. Mubarak Butros Tutu. Melanie Miller. Trevor Douglas Groth. Kelsey Joanne Bayer. Doris Lynn Singer. Elizabeth Rebecca Cross. Catherine Prickett. Timothy Mark Bork. Alexandra Faye Graby. John Dolan Barnes. Jamie Gardner. Chelsea Gillespie. Alexandria Martinez. Philip Lee Russell. Miyuki Ketchum. And now, Dr. Cynthia Leitz and Dean Jonathan Coppell will congratulate the degree recipients from Emergency Management and Homeland Security. Lindsay Rebecca Means. Andrew Albert Hall. Brittany Rochelle Gorman. Fernando Abel Torres. And now, Dr. Karen Mossberger and Dean Jonathan Coppell will congratulate the degree recipients from the School of Public Affairs.
Leonor Jimenez Camarena. Cliff Luis Rodriguez. Shamiran Warda. Virginia Gina Carico. Sylvia L. Garcia. Alicia Sofia Molina Martinez. Nehul Shah. Rebecca Lee Christ. Sarah Caitlin Heater. Abi Saifi. Holly Elise Moore. Aaron Kathleen Teach. Josue Reynaldo Macias. Ryan L. Sullivan. Larry A. Gilliford. Mason Carrington Hunt. Joe Rodriguez. Jorge B. Almada. Allison Forbes Metler. Ahmed Nur Mohammed Hassan. Denise Hua Huynh. Amal Arif. Hamid Ryan Nuru. David Joseph Yonko. Semisi T. Fasolo. Derek Andrew Serrano. Joshua Nicholas Wells. Devin William Phillips. Christopher James Brady. Eduardo Alonso Leal. Scott Ross Allen Brown. Rajesh Shiv Luke. Cameron Elise Hollis. And now Dr. Michelle Carney and Dean Jonathan Capel will now congratulate the degree recipients from the School of Social Work. Adriana Ortiz. Kelly Christine Conley. Pollyanna Crum Queen. Vanessa Ruth Schiefling. Christina Delgado. Amani Ali Al-Sayed. Taylor Gray. Adriana Heredia Corral. Abigail Vargas. Selena May Cedillo. Ashley Ryan Richen. Joseph V. Bauer. Ashley Ann Beach. Elizabeth Samara Sahani. Mocha Lana de los Santos. Edgar Ricardo Zamudio Guillen. Tammy Murray. Erin Renee Robinson. Deanna Monet Hill. Julie Marie Kent. Magdalene Rose Miller. Rocio Melina Robles. Michelle Bustamante. Evelyn Alvarez. Deanna Marie Harper. Susan Adela Hanna. Zoena S. Parham. Melissa Marie Moteluski. And Anna Martinez. Patricia Marie Knight. Alexis Leilani Morales. Justin Michael Roberts. Savannah Louise Enciso. And Erica Y. Watts.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our student speaker, Bridget Bell, to the stage. Bridget is a Barrett Honor student with a double major in anthropology and tourism development and management, in addition to a minor in sustainability and her certificates in special events management and convention sales and meeting planning.
Yesterday, I turned my tassel to the left at commencement, as did many of you, signifying that we were officially graduates as President Crow conferred our degrees. I'm sure that we all thought of something special as we moved those maroon and gold strands from one side to the other. I would like to share my thoughts with you. I thought about what I had accomplished to be standing right there. Going back to college as an older student with a family was a daunting experience. Exciting, yes, but daunting nonetheless. I thought about my journey at Phoenix College through their wonderful honors program. I remembered how knowledgeable and dedicated my instructors were, and I'm thankful for the Maricopa ASU Pathways program, the MAP program that we were talking about earlier. I'm thankful that it exists and it allows transfer students such as myself the opportunity to streamline into a degree program at ASU. I thought about my experience at ASU and all of the amazing advisors and professors and fellow students I was fortunate enough to learn from and work with. I thought about my friends who make me laugh when we lunch and love me no matter what. I thought about my husband, Russell, who supported me throughout my quest for my degrees. I thought about my family. My mom graduated from ASU with her master's degree when I was in middle school. I watched her study and do homework. I even went to class with her when she couldn't find childcare. One class in particular actually loved chocolate so much that I was the top candy selling fundraiser in 6th grade. So that was a high five on that. And in that process, I saw how dedicated she was to earning her degree, and it never interfered with being a loving and supportive mom. It left such an impression on me. I stand here today hoping that my children, Spencer and Alex, see that anything is possible if you set goals for yourself, you work hard, and you never quit, just as I learned from my mom. Maybe what I thought as I turned my tassel was very similar in many respects to what many of you were thinking. We all have worked so hard to get here today, and it wasn't easy. Many of us have children or jobs or other responsibilities outside of school. Some of us live away from our families and our communities, and in a lot of ways, college has been a lesson in time management and prioritization. This has been an interesting year. Our college itself, it's gone through a name change, which I'll admit has been really confusing at times, but I like it. The College of Public Service and Community Solutions suits us. We are so diverse, both with regard to student population and to our schools. From social work to criminology and criminal justice, community resources and development to public affairs, our college runs the gamut, but we all live to serve and strive for solutions. Tonight, we all come together to celebrate our hard work and dedication to our education. We are united here in this moment. We must go forward now and effect change. We must strive for fairness and ethics, foster community strength and understanding, do good in this world. It is now time to take responsibility for and hold ourselves accountable for generating solutions. Be innovative and forward-thinking, forge partnerships, make an impact, and engage in public service. Be grateful and empathetic. Have integrity. Go into the future knowing that your education at Arizona State University in the College of Public Service and Community Solutions has been one of the best in the nation. It has prepared you to be an agent of change within your community. It is with great honor that I say now to you all, congratulations, class of 2015! Thank you.
As we bring the ceremony to a close, please stand, and alumni, please join in singing the Arizona State University alma mater, which will be led by Priority Mail. That concludes the College of Public Service and Community Solutions Fall 2015 Convocation Ceremony. Graduates and faculty, please rise for the recessional. Friends and family, please remain in your places until the recessional has been completed and the faculty and graduates have departed from the theater. You can meet with your graduates outside of the theater on the Washington Street concourse after the recessional ends. Congratulations to the Fall 2015 graduating class on behalf of the College of Public Service and Community Solutions. Thank you and have a good night.